Married. So my wife went to speak to Rabbi Scheinberg and asked him, the Aruch HaShulchan says that, you don't have to cover your hair, and how come you have to cover your hair? Do cover your hair. Whole long story there. So he brought down the Gemara Yuma Mem Zayin, which is well known. He says on the story of Kimchis, she had 7 sons, and all of them were Mishamish Bakuna Gedola. And they asked her, how do you get a schus for that? She says, in my days, Lo Ro'o Kore's Basi Kloi Sari. It never happened that the wall saw my hair. He says, listen, he says, if in today's world you have trouble with your kids listening to you, they're fresh, arrogant, they won't listen. So one of the ways, if you cover your hair and you don't worry about all these arguments. My wife comes from, this special school there, I forgot the name of the school already, in Brooklyn. The girls. Anyway, so you do it, you get your reward. Okay. So I never knew what was the pshat. Is it because of the Chazal or is it because of the rabbi gave the brother? Neither. Different things. But the Gemara says, Omar harbe also came v'lo helu. See, many people did it. This part we never saw. Shamba didn't reveal that. Many people did it and it doesn't work. But you need zechuyos acheros. Val kulam zoch sa l'shiur kol abonim kohanim gedol. In other words, when it came to push and shove, there's no question about it that the power of the mitzvah, the power, whatever it is, we have to explain what is that quality. The tznius or the dikduke ha-mitzvahs of feeling close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The woman would always cover her hair. That factor. Since always feeling the Shechina, so that her children felt the Shechina. But whatever the power of mitzvah was, when it comes to doing it, we know that mitzvahs have a power, a sense of getting reward from it. How many people will do it? Most people will do it, and it's on its own, it works. And that's what it is. It has that power, it has that koyach. Except that you see some people do it and it doesn't work. So how do you explain it? So you explain it by saying, is this plus us? Everything is equal, this is a factor. But definitely has power, since there are other things that are there. So definitely you get your reward, but other things like remove or degrade it or you have a wonderful car, good, but you're missing the gas, okay? You got the car, but where's the gas? In other words, the mitzvah got you the car, but you didn't have the gas to go. You don't have the key to get in. It would like side dinim, passel the star. Side things, not the thing, side things. Okay. Why does Hashem make it this way? Why does Hashem make it this way? Because there's many mitzvahs we mentioned that have certain zechuyot. Mezuzah, if you put a nice mezuzah, you get a bias noya. Here's here be mezuzah zeichel adira noya. If you zohir be ner Chanukah or Shabbos, you have bonim talmidei chachomim ki ner mitzvah Torah. Tzitzis, you get a talis noya. If you zo'ir b'kiddush hayom, you zeicher to long life and also a lot of wine. I also explained when I first came to Eretz Yisrael. I was a Friday. It came I think on a Wednesday, Thursday. It came Shabbos, and until I got to the hotel, I didn't have any wine. I couldn't. I went. All the stores were closed. So I went looking where to find wine. So I went to a shul nearby, in the center of town, and I knock on a door there. The guy opens up, and I said, "I need wine." Wine? What's the problem? I said, "Listen, maybe we can use milk. What's the B'cham Medina? Milk or wine? You know?" He says. He laughed. He says, "Of course, wine." And he opens up his cabinet, 1 cabinet, 2 cabinets, 3 cabinets, 4 cabinets, 5, 7, 10. He has wine, loads of wine. In Yerushalayim, there's no chasser wine. So I always wondered why there was never chasser wine in Yerushalayim. You know what I mean? I always wondering why. You know what I mean? And I go to my neighbors, always have loads of wine. Never chasser. Americans don't have wine all the time. But the Israelis always have loads of wine. I found out this is the Chazal Mistama. Because if you make Kiddush, if you do Kiddush Hayom, you zeiche garbe yayin. And they tell all kinds of stories. How this person left 400 garbe yayin, and this person left 600, 6,000, 3,000 garbe.
You know, so you're going to end up with the same question, the same parents again. But
yeah.
The Americans are the doctor of Kiddush Hayom, so it must be that plus again.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about the garbe. Why? Of course, back to the same problem. But I'm wondering if they're really worried about Kiddush Hayom, because the Kiddush Hayom means to the story of Rav Zakkai. That what did he do? He didn't have Kiddush. He didn't have yain for Kiddush. His mother sold his kipush al Rosha to get it. You don't have wine. When you take out the money for. Does the American guy, he doesn't have wine, what does he do? He says, I'll use bread, I'll use ham. What does he say? I'm ready to sacrifice whatever it is. That's the problem. Huh? And that's exactly why. Kiddush the right and light is the right. Some more days is the rabban. Still, unless you want to. So there's loads of things that the Chachamim bring down. If you do X, you get Y. I explained because what's the reason? I explained that there's a certain power in mitzvah, a certain place you do. You got to recognize that a mitzvah has a certain schar. So you do something, years later, this thing comes out, you realize the power of the schar. But the question is, why is it that it's not constant? Why don't we actually want to actually see it? So the Mabit gives a reason, and this reason I heard when I was a kid. I was going to Yeshiva, and Rabbi Levine Zechat Tzaddik Levracha, he explained it to me. He says, if you do the deeds, good deeds, you get reward. So if everybody will see you get the reward, so nobody will not do it. So it'll be misbechira. No bechira, so then you won't get as much reward for the tzaddikim. So therefore Hashem, what does he do? He is, so to speak, I want to read the Lashon. Rotza shiyeh nelam ktsas inyan hatoives hamagiyim l'toivim v'haroi shemagalim l'roi mitzat chatosim. In other words, really, in the thing itself, intrinsically in the thing itself, there are certain formulas. You know, you learn Torah, this happened. You light candles, Talmid Chacham, Moikir Rabbanon. You have certain rules. You want your children, Talmid Chacham. We have certain basic rules. Tzedakah, Tatzal Mimavas. In the case of Rabbi Akiva, we know from Shlomo HaMelech, but the Ma'aser Rabbi Akiva became Mefursam, well and known. That's his theory. But as time goes, although it works, and certain time they'll say, you'll need a Hasidish Amaisa, do this, and it happens, or that doesn't happen, you'll do it, and it doesn't happen. You say, was it because of the bracha of the Rebbe, or because of the Mitzias? We try to say it's because of the Mitzias of the thing, so how come it doesn't work all the time? And the answer is, it's again for our benefit of if we say it's totally in Dvar Macherim, in order that we'll be able to get more reward. Because if you only see, really should do something without reward. Just for the Tzarna Kodesh Baruch Hu. Why is there schar v'onesh? Okay. But if it's only we'll see clearly all the time, immediately, directly schar v'onesh. So then you remove the Bechira, so then you won't get as much reward. You'll lose out. So in order to make sure that it keeps in a balance and continue in a balance, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu has to add Dvar Macherim in the Cheshbon. But the thing itself has a power. And certain times a rabbi or a father or a mother or yourself say, if I do this, this is going to work. Intuitive knowledge or feeling, and it works. The Chachamim, you say, because you have to Amunas Chachamim, you got to believe it. Amunas Chachamim, it works. But there's a formula. There's certain formulas. It naturally has to be built also on not Dvar Macherim. But there are cases where people who relied that if you do X, Y will happen, you get a good deed. The good deed, the reward had to happen because people relied upon it, had bitochen on it, and Hashem had to make that situation. Maybe in my wife's office there's a Gemara Shabbos with Nakudos. Example of Rav Huna and Rav Chisda. There's only one place you can test Hashem, and that is in Maisa money. But Chazal say, do this happen. Huna was accustomed to pass the door of Rab Abin, the carpenter. Seeing that he had lit many lights, he remarked, 2 great men will issue hence. Mavidi ben Abin and Rav Chia ben Abin. Rav Huna, when he saw he was batuach. He knew the Chazal, he knew this is the rule, he relied upon it, and he said it. Chazal wrote it in order that it should be known. Times when we need all the schuyos we can. We need all the... naturally we have to do tshuva, but also we need to do certain things that we know that's marbas zechuyoseinu. Tzedakahs, chesed, medagdek amona mitzvahs. You got to get more learning in. I mean, don't realize that next, what? When is Rosh Hashanah? Next Wednesday night? Thursday night? Wednesday night? Wednesday night? Just around the corner. No slichas for us. The Spartan get up in the morning, slichas. I mean, where are we? So at least we got to get a little more learning in. Let's try to push these next few days, get a little more Torah and more learning in. Schus HaTorah. If it doesn't work, we'll say Davar Acher there. But let's at least do those positive. We know there's a Koyach HaTorah. We know there's a Koyach HaTshuva. We know there's a Koyach of Chesed and Tzedakah. God gives a little time, extra time. So let's try to push in and see what happens, and Hashem should give us the brachas. Hope that next year's already the cheshbon for next year already will be there. I don't have to wait too long for it. Talking about the money aspect. Maybe you want to borrow on next year. For whatever it is, let's be thank Hashem. He prevented a war. I mean, so far, it's a big schus. That's right. Al pi teva, there should have been something. And thank Hashem. We have this time. Let's make the most of the next. Today's already Monday. You have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday's a half a day. Shabbos you don't include. Sunday already is preparing for Rosh Hashanah. So let's be mispalel and try to happen the best we can. Forgive and forget our friends. Try to get positive. Try to get energy. And what's the matter? I don't know. There's a lot of schus ha-Torah, schus ha-mitzvahs. Do what we can. Do the best we can. And let the koyach and the power of the mitzvahs be mogen aleinu. So really what would be that, really it should be that if we knew the power of mitzvahs, for us it's, since you have to have bechira, so Hashem makes it what? That, what does Hashem do? Hashem makes it that it doesn't always appear to work. But we will have nemanis that we know there's mitzvahs have power. If you do more mitzvahs, a balance the scale, it will count more, at least for Rosh Hashanah. So therefore, we should have in our mind somehow that we should work harder than ever now to make sure to do these mitzvahs. All the mitzvahs. Because I saw when it mentioned tzitzis, it says labdavke tzitzis. It really means all the mitzvahs. It says labdavke. Let me see what labdavke. Como shomo shom b'menachos seil omam mitzvahs tzitzis. Brings the Gemara in Menachos that it's a binyan of all mitzvahs have the power. These are the ones who are meforsim. So we have who are believe in Hashem, have to believe the power of mitzvahs, the power is what they are. And should give us an incentive, at least for that way, to a stronger drive to do what we got to do. Hashem should give us a bracha. Any other questions? Any questions? Okay. Yeah, I'll go to Hashem.
The title of that shmooze was Exacting in the Mitzvahs and the Power of Mitzvahs. Tuesday, Kuf Aleph Elul, year 5750. Rebbe's shmoozes, standing in front of Hashem in tefillah.
I want to start tefillah. Since Rosh Hashanah is coming by, and the Eika of Rosh Hashanah is Ol Malchus Shamayim, and a chelik of it, of Rosh Hashanah we have is a special tefillah. Malchus Zechron Shofars. I think tefillah is a good place to start. What is our relationship to Hashem? We're talking about Ol Malchus Shamayim. Tefillah is a practical application of one's relationship to Hashem. Where is man in the world? When you learn, okay, you're trying to understand the ways of Hashem in the same wavelengths. When you tefillah and you're oimei lifnei Hashem and you're standing in front of Hashem, and we say that Tanai Hadav certain milim come out, the shvach, because on Shabbos you don't have bakoshos. Yeshvach, Hadur. On a daily basis, on a Sarah, you have bakoshos. But in what is your position when you're standing in front of Hashem? What is happening there? There's Hashem and there's you. Now, usually, the way a person who's independent feels, a healthy independent, I do things. And usually there's a relationship between two. I do this for you, you do that for me. Like a marriage. I do this, you do that. I do a little more, I complain. Okay. We're out of my box. But you do and get back. And man has the concept in his head, he does. He does mitzvahs, he learns Torah because he has to do things. He does. A man is a doer. He does. So in the head of man, he says, Hashem, look what I've done. I did mitzvahs, I'm davening. Look at all those other guys, had tremendous nisyonos, and I passed. Look who I am, look at me. Look at me what? See if he just said, look at me, what I've done. Good, what I'm doing. So God says, so what? What's it got to do with anything? What's it got to do with asking me for anything? Or my relationship? What are you saying? Translate that. What do you mean you're doing mitzvah? What does that mean? Look at my past performance. Now, somewhere along the line, you're liable to make a mistake and cross lines. If it's expressed in terms of, you see, I believe in you, I have confidence in you, God. Okay. I love you. I really care that your Torah should be in the world. I'm your slave. You're like a similar dover. That's already can slip by. But if somehow, because man has an ego, and he has to feel good about himself, confident and good. So now you're standing in front of Hashem, and you want to bring all your bags of goodies. See what I've done? I've done this, I've done that, I've done this. At that point, there's a chance that the line switches. The line switches. As if, look what I did, God, as if there's a hechrach or a chiyuv for God to help you. Like, I'm good, you must help me. And there's a guy mentioned, Johnson, he wrote in one of the first dictionaries, he said, I gotta live, give me the food, I gotta live. So he would say, who said you gotta live? Why live? I mean, why live? I gotta live. Is it? Who obligates himself to you should live? Who's forcing? Who's forcing anything? You do me a favor? Make your life. Child said, look, Dad, I'm alive. You gotta help me. No, what? Who's forcing you to live? I commit suicide? Okay, it causes pain, but who forces life? What's the force? Is there any chiyuv? Does God have an obligation? Any force? You can force God to do anything? In your position with Hashem, look what I've done. I've been so good and kind. I did so many mitzvahs. I learned so much Torah. I have so much mysterious nefesh. Therefore what? Therefore what? Help me out. What does it mean help me? What does that mean? You see my past, well, I'm a good guy. Therefore what? You see how I appreciate and love you? Therefore, I'll do good if you give me. Or therefore, give me. Look what I've done, the good deeds I've done. the mitzvahs I've done. Give me my schar, or you must give me. So in tefillah, where the position of man is staying, harotzon b'milas bakosha, hu lahore she'ein roy yishal odom tzorcha ma'akel yizma derech chiyuv hechra. K'mi sheshel schare she'ipor escholva shu chay lefra ela derech bakosha b'tachnunim ka'oni hashel mimi she'eino chayav lo. Why? Kima hikdim ho'adam liyotzroi shishal meno derachiyah. There's a pasuk in Iyov. Mi hikdimani v'ashalim tachas kol shemaim liyo. You did something to me first, I have to pay you back. I owe you anything? I owe you anything? She good. Good, you did good. Yashikayach, you did good. You're a nice guy. Good, you're nice. You do mitzvahs, not lovely. So therefore what? And it's a pasuk. Nasati lo bayis, v'achim amarti lo asali maka gagecha. Kasaftem ala mezuzah beisecha. Nasati lo yisoda. Amalei lo yitachash shor b'disha. Shor b'chamor. God gives you everything and it tells you what to do. So you did it. So what do you get? God started the whole thing. So is there any demand you can have to God? Any demand? In Lumdus we have, it says in the Torah we have the rules and regulations, the halachas, but in reality, in our position standing in front of Hashem in tefillah, you're an oni asking somebody he's not chayiv you anything. He owes you nothing. God owes you nothing. My parents, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be called a father. Okay. It wasn't for me. The wife says, you want to have a wife? Take care. Husband says, one for me. You want to have a husband? Okay. But Hashem, you can't say that. He owes you anything. She brought me to a good, disappear now. Thank you for how long you've been here. You've been here 20 years, 50 years, 30 years, 23 years. 20. Good, thank you, Hashem. Good, shalom. Dissolve. Because you're here a week ago, it means you have to continue now. Yeah, dissolve, disappear. As Johnson says, you have to live. You want to live. Oh, you want to live. Very nice. You want to live. Why I created until now? I created. Now already. Mechadish b'tu b'chol yom tomin. My every day is a new world. Shalom. Who says you have to be created tomorrow? This coming year. But look at the good deeds. So what you did good deeds? What does that mean? Is that a payment for what I gave you until now? There's no payment. That's a payment. Look what I've done. Very nice. You learned Torah. Very nice. Torah, you did mitzvahs. You're kind and nice, wonderful. So therefore what? For what? But I did this. Give me what? What if you give me? There's no obligation. The agreement can dissolve now. Dissolve it. So the only position we can really come to Hashem is what? Is what? Ka'oni hashoyel emi she'eino chayav lo. But then he said, look what I did. Pay me. He says, can't be. Everything is mine. So what do you got to do? Derech chesed, chanina. You want to get reward in the next world? You get it, don't worry. And if you get reward, so what? Next world you'll get it. It's not derech chiyuv, it's chesed. Even the reward, chesed. But it's back again to the same story. And you get reward, I'll give you a reward. Good. Good. But that's chesed. The reward is chesed. That's a very a central point. It's again, and from that law comes other laws. You can't make tefillah keva. Because it's not tachnunim. Because you're a poor man begging. You have nothing. Everything you get is a gift. Everything is, you don't deserve anything. You deserve anything? But look what I've done. The other guys are so good. Don't worry. You're a nice guy, and he's not a nice guy. So you'll get everyone in the next world you got. So therefore what? So therefore what? Now if you know that you're an oni asking Hashem, you got to come on to Hashem. You got to come on to Hashem. So what the yeshiva should do, David? Tefillah. You have no way out of our problem. No way. You have to pray. I'd say, Pesach, Tefillah for the yeshiva. Can I have a spot? What way? Any way we touch, what way? What way? You know, it comes on, with all our chacham and all our dreis, it doesn't happen. Everything I touch is out. So you have to know it comes from Hashem. When you're getting the money, everything you're getting, okay, you're somehow saying, I do X, therefore Y happens. I do X, money comes. That's terrible. But you have to know, when there's no money, what do? You don't happen, so you're forced in the position to know one thing. It's up to Hashem, He has to give. You have to wait to see what He has in store for you. If you want to wait. If you don't want to wait a little bit, so you'll do a little tefillah. Doesn't mean because your tefillah work, but at least that's a format where you recognize and announce to Hashem, I'm ethes without you. I'm an oni without you. So that, his oras halev, you have to have. You can wait and say, look, it's up to God, I'll get it. Don't get it again, I do it, no, I'll do the best I can. That's also recognized, but it's not an expressive position enough of getting strength with your relationship with Hashem. And at that time when you pray, you have nothing, you come on to Him, you know you're going to come on to Him, that gives you internal strength. And that strength and bitachon gives the man that Hashem, with the formulas, will help bring. If He wants to bring. But it's a matzav in which man can be, to do the mitzvah of prayer, of getting straightened together, that position him himself and recognize who Hashem, who He is, and what He is. Maybe that's one of the tikkunim we need to know. Liat kesef, liat all the dreis is crazy. You got to come on to God. Somebody has to help us. You got to do your derech teva, but everything comes to Him. Maybe we have a little guy with what we're doing, the things that are happening, who knows? My work, my job, my thoughts, my organization, my government, this guy, who knows? Man has to come in. An oni, not chayav nothing. Can't say, you know what I did? Look at all my schuyot and all that. Shtus. Shtus. Of course you have to be good. A guy goes to work and does his job. He gets paid to be a watchman. He gets paid to take the machine and go down. Only the Israelis have the chutzpah. They don't do the work. When they do their work, they're being paid for it. They say, look, I did my work. Give me double the money. Only the Israelis. But in front of Hashem, you did the work. Good. You get rewarded for it. You did it. Yes, you can. That's all. He owes you anything? Of course you did it. Why shouldn't? And the birds do their work, and the sun does its job, goes around the world. It says, where's my reward? Quickly, give me money. Give me a chocolate bar. I won't go around the earth. I mean, the earth won't go around the sun. give me a chocolate bar. Quickly, give me. Be nice to me. Talk nicely to me. Do this to me. Otherwise what? I won't do my job. The sun doesn't say it, the moon doesn't say it, the earth doesn't say it, the frogs don't say it. All the creation, the sus, nobody says it. Only man. Only the man, the Israeli man. What? I say the Israeli. They got chutzpah. But that brings for us a bad feeling, you see. We pick it up. We pick up that azus panim. And so we do something, say, now I want double the money. You don't even deserve anything, but now you want it. You already got paid. You already got work. What are you doing? You got your job to do. Now you want. Yes. Tefillah is only an expression of the position, the headspace of where man is to God. By improving tefillah, what happens? Only now you know you come on to God, and all day long you don't. It's sure it's a focus, but it's who you are when you're focusing. it's an exercise also to straighten yourself out, to know you're coming on to God. It's an exercise to come on. I mean, if you weren't all during the day, not, so 3 times a day you shape yourself up together to get in that position, because during the day you somehow got out of that position. but it's a personal self. It's not working on tefillah. It's working on your relation with Hashem. Tefillah is an expression of it, and it's a chesed. Hashem gives it to us in order to, an exercise to straighten ourselves out, in order to do things. So we have to work really on ourselves, but expressed in tefillah. Tefillah is a barometer, a picture where we are, and it's an exercise for it. So maybe that's one of the tikkunim that you don't get, things don't work.
That was oneself. That's achbarak, the derech ruchani, or also include certain things that we're supposed to be doing, which is part of it.
I would answer both. But again, there's another trick. If you're going to read that on God and do nothing, so then you're out also. Because God says, the Almighty says, you go to the Rofe. Is it a chiv to go to the Rofe, or it's just a rishus? Some people know it's a chiv. You got to go to the Rofe. When you go to the Rofe, the Mishnah Berurah says, then you got to ask Hashem that the Rofe should be shliach tov, that he should help bring the refuah through the Rofe. Like in our terms, al pirov, the medicine should work. Mia doesn't. Well, Mia timuta. You got to be mispalel that the robe should work, and the miyat should not happen. If you're talking that language, but you're talking other language, you got to come on to Hashem. Except you can't say, I won't go to the rofe and I will just mispalel. And you can't do. So my answer is, you got to do, but you got to know it's coming from Hashem. You got to ask where the chachma comes from, and where you learn. You got to ask how to pray for chachma. If you want to do business, you got to pray where the money comes from. So maybe it's a chison and not tefillah. That maybe a shtadlus could be also, but it can be maybe also not tefillah. That we don't reckon everything comes from. And maybe even with the mitzvahs that we're doing, you feel confident. I'm okay. I'm having a serious nefesh for Torah. My wife and kids are starving. I would knock myself down. So Hashem has to be good to me. Who else are you going to be if not to me? I really don't need tefillah. I got my mitzvahs. I got my good deeds. I got my... I say, no. Are you coming on to again? Or are you coming it as, listen, look what I have in my hand. Pay me the reward. I'm good, therefore continue to... Because this is what I'm doing, so you got to keep up what I'm doing. Who says he has to keep up? What is that? He has to keep up. He has to keep up nothing. There's an agreement. There's a choseh. Sure, if you do this and that, yeah, okay. But that's according to the formula of Torah. But that's his chesed. That's the derech of his chesed. That's the derech. But there's no demand. There's no chiyuv. There's no hechach from it. That's the derech of the chesed. You plug in, you get it. Because that's his way of handling. But there's no chiyuv there. There's no hechach for it. That's his derech. I did it. Where is it? You promised. Where is it? That's why Hashem said, you made a promise you can't keep. Why does that mean you can't keep? Hashem tells you, listen, bud, who are you to promise? You anybody to promise? You mean well. It's only up to God if he'll give it. But man can't promise. Man's not God. Father's not God. Only God can guarantee his words. We cannot. That means don't promise and don't give. Don't promise all that. That's also stupid. It means, what it does mean is that you have to come on to Hashem. I mean, under Rosh circumstances, if it's Hashem Yisbarach, I hope to, with the laws of marriages, the laws of chazakas, that's where onus comes in. Didn't work. But if you do a thing originally, it has to come on to Hashem. So maybe one of the tikkunim before Rosh Hashanah, which you understand, he's all Malchus Shamatzol. He's the king. Obviously, you got to know what's the relationship. Really, he is the boss. Told another aspect of it in the tefillah that he does mitam chesed, Bakosher Tachnunim, and there's no Herchach and Chiyuv. In that aspect of all Malchus. Maybe we got to do that tikkun a little bit. Maybe I got to do that tikkun. I don't know. It won't hurt. It definitely won't hurt. That is the tikkun, I don't know, but it definitely won't hurt. Okay, any questions? Yes. Those.
Yeah, but he says they don't, even though we could, but that's not the derech of the tzaddikim to do that. I'm trying to bring the right elevator. The tzaddikim, even if they have this, maybe they do, but
I don't know how to handle that chazal, but I always tell over the story with myself. I was in the kollel, I had these kids, these kollel doesn't pay any money, I had no money. And I went to a rich man. His name was Mr. Shaw. I said to him, listen, I'm starving. Let's do you sachan zabul. You're not learning. You give me money and I'll listen learn and you'll get some of the schar. He laughed. He said, listen, he says, if you make that deal, I wouldn't want to buy your Torah. If you're ready to sell your Torah for a few pennies, talking about $1,000, for a few pennies, so who wants that Torah? How can you even have a hammy to sell your Torah? I don't want to talk to you about it. I repeat, I'm talking about a businessman. How many to sell your Torah? That's billions of dollars. How can you sell it? For a little pot of porridge, an Asa? So what's the value? Elamai, you're going to take your Torah and translate it into dollars. Your Torah is zero there. Where's your Munah? Well, you know what Olam Haba is. You know what Torah is. So who says your Torah is anything? I left a little embarrassed there. Here I'm the guy who talked to him, he used to teach him, he used to talk to this guy, that guy. And the guy has a house like, I don't want to say, he lives like, who knows, not like the guys in Kuwait, but he lives there darn well. Same thing, yeah. Want to take your schar and the schuyos and translate it and get a little what? A little what? You got to say, Moshe meant the ruchnius of Eretz Yisrael. And the mitzvah, like one mitzvah causes another mitzvah. He had to give up all his schuyos for another mitzvah. But that's the old chosh of Eretz Yisrael. Okay. But in a certain sense, I don't know how to solve it, but I do hear that you know what the greatness of Eretz Yisrael is, and we're here. What a big source. But that's my basic line. I have to think about it. Any other questions? Yes.
How does a person still maintain like a sense of value or worth, given what you said?
The goyim feel they can't even talk to God.
So
we have a relation with God. They feel that God created us and just forgot about us. We got the raw deal in the world. And there's no justice. Nothing's happening. No matter what you do and how good you are, they don't feel connected. At least we have the vision. God talks to listen to us. We can ask them for chesed. We're able to say hello. Be able to ask for chesed. Have an audience for Hashem. That's a big thing too. It's a big thing. That gives me a lot of self-worth. I can't control him, but I'm able to plead my case.
You can get in the town.
That's right. You get into the door. Any other questions? So another here. Yes.
So what's in the cut? Just the siyat. There's two things.
I was telling my chaver Bloomberg all over. He had cancer. So I said to him, Chaim, how do you live with yourself? He says, listen, he says, I feel I should die. But every day that God gives me life, I'm happy for. Whatever he gives me, I'm happy. And he lived with himself. His mother and father died. All his relatives died in Europe. The only person living from his whole family, the whole Giza. And he got cancer. How does the guy feel at the end? Mother fell down the stairs. All kinds of crazy stuff. And he's the last of the line. Not married. No children. That's how he looked at it, too. Yeah, the problem is he listened to, during the Omer, he listened to, music. So he asked Rav Feinstein, to them. There's no Isa, that's why I got it, no Isa for classical music. It doesn't really make the heart, it's soothing the soul, but it's not simcha. While the other music is simcha. That's what he told him. Please listen to classical music during this year. Any other questions? So let's try to work on our tefillah. I'll leave the shittas of Rachaim Amen Lifnei Hashem, and this is a position. I retranslated the Zahavi. I retranslated this in terms of Rachaim. That's what I really did. That's what I applied it to before Rosh Hashanah. In August. I want to continue on tefillah. I don't know if they write in the same way, but I want to get certain Ketayim in tefillah.